that takes us on to Rampage. And do you have the Rampage notes, or do I need to pull up Rampage notes?
I can start with it.
Okay.
They started with Konosuke Takeshita
Oh man.
and Eddie Kingston,
So
and yeah,
lots of chops, lots of forearms, lots of German suplexes, a pinch of rope running from Takeshita because like Eddie Kingston ain't here to run the ropes. But this was a lot of fun. I thought this match was one of the better matches in AEW this year. Probably putting that 4 1/3 range.
yeah. I gotta say, man, like Takeshita has walked in here in a handful of matches, and got over. I think, and they announced John Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for Fighter Fest this week in a world title eliminator match. If Takeshita wins, he gets a shot at the championship. A lot of people are
What happens if he loses?
he gets fucked.
Okay.
Yep. So a lot of people are banging a drum and want to see this guy win now. I credit that to Konosuke Takeshita being as great as he is, to walk in with like minimal profile in the country and exposure. This is not like it's Kazuchika Okada coming over here or something like that. Walking in a handful of matches, some we're talking Jay Lethal, Hangman Page, now this Eddie Kingston match. Like people are like almost living and dying with this man. I think my boy Aaron Aaron Rotowski had a great point with him. They are giving him a push very similar to the ones that they gave Jungle Boy and Darby to turn them into somebodies. This guy is in the argument for the best wrestler in the company, like humbly, that's just there. But like, take it aside, obviously, like I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and if you were talking about best guys in the world, I think he's in that conversation. I think they are intentionally like mixing him in with top people like Hangman, like Kingston, like Moxley now, and it's going to be, this is all designed to make you want to see him win, and the big win is coming for him. I revealed in a group chat what I think that big win is. I'll wait for the show. I'll wait a little bit closer to let you guys know what I think it is, but he's incredible. Just flat out, like he's the answer that New Japan wishes it had.
Not necessarily disagree, especially after their like business strategy meeting for this year, and they were like, "Yeah, our roster's too old. We have to like make a youth movement." Um, which is interesting because it's like every wrestling promotion that makes a lot of money does this, except for one. Uh, well, take that back. They just made Theory the Money in the Bank winner, so there is some concessions being made and they need to go with the youth movement. Maybe pick someone that's not a sex pest, but whatever. Uh, yeah, Takesha's great. This is like the fourth or no, this is like the fifth or sixth match I've ever seen of him, and like I've never seen him in a match that wasn't like over 4 stars. He's great. Like the first match I ever saw is the best match I've ever seen him in. I mean, it was a match when he's in there with three other guys that are about as good as he is, or or at least on the level. So it was a super match. But yeah, like he's great, and like it's funny to see like we often tell like people because don't get me wrong, like we don't see like everybody, but we see a good number of people around the world or in Japan at least, and we're just like outside of just this New Japan thing, there's also a lot of good fucking wrestlers. Outside the Stardom thing, there's still a lot of good fucking wrestlers, and it's like I don't know if they think we're blowing smoke or whatever else. And I'm not taking this thing as like us saying like tuning our horns. Like anyone that would have seen this person would have known immediately like, oh, that person's special. Um, but like when we talk about certain people, I think maybe it's because there's so many names. You kind of gets like, okay, it can't be all these people. But it's like he's one of the ones like he's not just like the rest of them. He's like elite amongst the ones we think are just even good over there. So I'm not surprised in the slightest that he's doing this, especially the way they implemented them. And quite frankly, like the way that they're doing this with him, that let him have these kind of matches, and then like the way he's kind of touring the indies at places like Deadlock or
PWG,
right.
Garden State, fucking West Coast Pro, GCW. I think he's been in. He's in North Carolina. He's gonna do Terminus shortly, so he's making rounds.
Yeah, so like someone like him doing this, it's like I enjoy this for the fact that like I always think there's so much talent, and I feel like every 2-3 weeks I'm finding out or seeing somebody else. I'm like, holy shit, this person's good too, right? It's almost overwhelming in a way, and it's like you kind of just I would like to see some of these people be able to mix it up and wrestle people outside of their normal ecosystem. Like I like the, for lack of a word, fantasy booking or dream match element of indie wrestling. And to see someone like him over here for 6 months and with time on his hands, like that could, like there could be, he could do a lot of damage, right? And like, help make some more names on this American side, and then therefore then lead to them coming over to a DDT or, a Noah or whatever else by blowing up on the radar. Like the idea that Ninja Max and Noah is fucking wild. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that shit's cool. So like, I would like to see like all these people be able to, at some point be able to do something with each other, because like there's so much talent, and like putting all that shit together, like that is the reason why AEW kind of exists. But like to see some of that kind of spirit energy, even outside of AEW, is also really cool too. So like I'm interested in this, and like, or I'm really happy that he's been able to do this, and like he's going out here and just lighting up the indies, and like they just had the She Won in Pro Wrestling Eve, and like Takumi Iroha was there or whatever else, and it's like I can't wait till Takumi ends up on fucking AEW. You know what's gonna happen, Rich. You know what's gonna fucking happen,
man.
So like that's so like
I'm gonna be uncontrollable today. Takumi Iroha comes out on Dynamite.
So, yeah, like so for me. And be like, wait a second, what is this? What is this, like the Randy Savage music with the guitar? What the fuck is going on? And like, why does this lady have this haircut? And what is up with this the suit or the full body suit and all this other stuff? And then the kicks don't come off, and she's gonna hit a swanton and all the other shit, and people will be like, oh, she's way better than anybody we got over here. Like, and then it's gonna go happen here. And then like same thing with the Jungle Kiona. We'll get to it I guess later, but like Jungle is going to tour in America, and she has a couple shows already booked, or a couple dates already booked. Like she has 2 matches in Deadlock Pro and 1 match in West Coast Pro. So like, bring it on. Like I want to see other people tour. I want to see Oscar Vinny over here too. There's tons of great fucking wrestlers all around the world. I want to see them all like be able to come through in America or whatever else, and like be able to, use AEW or whatever else to like be able to establish themselves and make a name for themselves with a big match and all that kind of thing. And like that's what he's doing. It's cool. It's cool as hell.
Yeah.
And maybe he likes it here. Maybe he says, you know what, I want to fucking stay longer. That'd be fucking cool too.
Like the plans for him were to be over here for a year. So who knows? Maybe he wants to stay. Like, in DDT, from what I'm led to believe, he done it all over there. So like,
how many times has he been their champion?
5.
Because the top title is the KOD. It's not the Universal title, right? Can't remember.
KOD.
Yeah.
5-time champion. So like,
27, right?
Yes, I think he's 27. Yeah. So
yeah.
If he's gonna be around,
been there, done that.
Like I would already call like his excursion a success. Like people like have compared this to like, hey, remember how TNA fucked Okada up, when they had him or whatever, and they didn't like let him do shit. Like I feel like they've already they've blown it out the water with Takeshita, and I don't think necessarily getting caught up on him winning and losing is like the thing to get like caught up on here. It's like, what kind of connection is he making with the crowd? Is he like kind of rising up the ranks even in DP? Is he impressive? And does he look out of place? He does not.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like he's talking him into the building or anything. It's like, this man is working.
Right. And that's the thing of like, once the bell rings, that shit doesn't nothing matters except for the match. But like as far as the American aspect of pro wrestling, where it's promos and program building in that particular way that we're familiar with, that is distinct to Western wrestling and is for is not the way they do it in Japan. Like that is the real crux of all of this. As far as like people's enjoyment or lack thereof of him. But like once that bell rings, like I there's no complaints to be had. Ain't no complaints to be had. So yeah, and maybe he finds like that kind of the new challenge of trying to figure out a storyline or storytelling in America through promo and mean talking to each other. Like maybe he finds it interesting in a way, or more challenging in a way than like what he's already effectively already conquered.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. But either way, like he's 26, 27, barring any type of devastating injury, which there might be a blown wheel or something like that given his age. But like he could keep coming back for another decade. Coming in and out for another decade, and he comes out and people pop and be like, this is our Muda.
Mm-hmm.
This is our Nakamura.
Great point. I look forward to seeing like what he gets into when he's able to connect with a storyline, when he's able to get his merch rolling in the big way, and this is a success. Like, and I guess that ties into
in a way also because of the young boy thing and like or whatever else, a number of factions that are in AEW. Like he's kind of like almost like, remember how Lady C, it took her a year before she ended up in Queen's Quest? It's like she's just like he's just around like there for matches, whatever else, and eventually like he'll settle in with like grow roots with somewhere, and then like you'll have that connection with a faction eventually. Like it's only a matter of time before he finds friends in AEW.
Yep, that'd be pretty interesting.